Yeah, so tell me what it looks like using Marketo at a giant organization like GE. I'm sure that how long ago was that, first of all?
About 2 years ago. So
2 years
not
ago.
too long ago.
So
yeah.
let's look at it from the perspective of here's somebody that's inheriting a database. What did that database look like, and what were the first steps that you had to take at an enterprise level to get data in order?
So luckily there was already an admin there managing Marketo, who's now a really good friend of mine, but there was still a lot of help needed. So I think the biggest problem or the hoops I kind of had to jump through at GE was just there was already a problem and it just kept escalating because, there was a lot of leads, a lot of data there. So the first thing I did was I kind of got my feet wet and just audited, just checked out everything because you don't know a problem's there until you look for a problem.
Sure.
So I just started auditing and helping out the admin there as she was trying to juggle a lot of roles. Realized that there were just some things that needed to be worked out, and the sales team, shockingly, didn't get along very well.
Not the sales team.
We weren't best friends. Isn't that shocking? So the sales team did not get, they weren't best friends with marketing, let's just say it that way. Yeah, so we had to figure out the right way to route things through sales. And the way that GE was particular is they had a global operations center that did sales.
I see.
So it was different. It was kind of like a contracted inside sales company.
I see.
So we had to educate them on how GE Lighting did it versus how GE Healthcare does it. So education was the biggest thing for me. So I kind of ran with the education portion, trained people, and really tried to, revamp how that Marketo instance looked.
Education is often the best way to learn something, in my opinion. I always tell people that if you can teach something simply, then you know it well.
Right.
But if it's complicated and you have a hard time teaching it, then you probably don't know it as well as you should. So tell me about what it's like to inherit this database, make a bunch of changes, have a little bit of pushback from the sales team, maybe a lot of pushback, right? But come out on top. I mean, let's be honest. Your changes that you made clearly made an impact and things changed for the better. Otherwise, you wouldn't be the person you are today, a Marketo Champion, 3 times certified, and so on and so forth. So what's it like to go through a process like that and come out smelling like a rose on the other side?
Yeah, well, it took a while to smell like a rose, but I don't think people loved me at first. Like I said, there was already a Marketo admin there who she was very well respected, so I kind of teamed up with her, so I found an ally in her. And I was a little bit more on the social side to help educate the sales team. So what I started doing was showing them the true impact of what these changes are doing.
Yeah.
So I would show them at the time we had MSI and interesting moments, and the inside sales team kept telling us they don't know what their leads are doing before they come to them. I was like, that's weird because I put a lot of work in setting up MSI and interesting moments. So I went through and I showed them a customer who actually converted, and their first touch was a webinar that we hosted.
Right.
And so people kept following up with them. And once I showed them that, they're like, oh, we didn't even know this existed. I was like, well, it's been in place for a while now. So that's where I started to develop sales training. So we really focused on sales trainings, and we found a champion and partner in the head of sales, which is really good for us because he basically was like, you listen and follow this process.
Nice.
Or we're going to have a different type of conversation.
I love that. Listen to this,
Yeah.
folks. People don't know that there are marketers out there that endorse sales training or do sales training for that matter. So they do exist. This is one right here in the flesh. So that's interesting that you would invoke some kind of sales training to sort of better their standing and how they work with marketing. Truly devoted to sales and marketing alignment, which we'll talk about later. I know that's a big focus for you.